be the first to admit I have not been great about keeping up with the videos. So I test fitted this with the tank on it to make sure the tank came out. And then I pulled it back out and ground around the edges, just a light grind, like not into any metal, just took the paint off so that I could do the weld. Now it's gonna go back into place. And I'm gonna hit just some tack welds along the edges every few inches just to hold it in place. I'm actually gonna weld it from underneath. But with the tank in place, obviously I can't do that. So I'm just gonna hit a few tacks to hold it in place. And the other thing is I want this ground not just for the tacks, but also because when I'm penetrating through from the other side, the paint will still contaminate the weld, and I don't want that. So plus it gives me the flexibility. If I do need to do some welding from the inside, I can do so. I'm not going to show you putting this thing in because it's just a lot of fettling. You know how to stick something in where it fits. So, and here we are, fitted back in again. You can see where it lines up from below. Fitted. Of course, you can't see there with the tank. You can see there's a gap. It's all fitted in. A couple of little things where the contour didn't quite match, but I can fix that. So, and looks like it's fit pretty well from above too. You can see the gap there, lined up. Looks okay. So yeah, we're gonna start hitting it now with a couple of tacks. I don't have room in here for the camera, the light, me, and the welder. So I'll just show you when it's done. And now with the tank off, got a couple of tacks up there. You can see them, just light tacks. I did it from the upside, the above side. And these are the raw welds from the inside. You can kind of get a feel for it. I have a decent heat zone. I actually turned the heat up a little bit for this to get better weld, because I was getting a high crown on some of my other welds. By bumping the heat up, I have to be worried about burning through a little more. I was just careful, and did in one spot or two spots. You can see I fixed one there, but for the most part the welds came out good. This is again done without the backer plate. However, what I've done is I've got a 2x4 here with some copper underneath it. See, copper. And my wife is going to come out and she's just going to hold that in place for me, and I'm going to weld up from underneath because it's really crowded in here to do the welding. You can get a person in there, but really tough to welder the mask and all that stuff into this little hole. My lovely wife came out and held copper on the inside. She fit in the boot, which I do not, and held copper down so I was able to weld it all. And then I got the plug welds along the base there as well. So that's done there. And then coming inside, these are just raw welds here. All looks good. I'm going to figure out how I can fit in here a little better. Then I'm going to get the seam sealer on and primer on it. I have a new goal weight. New goal weight is to fit inside the Bugeye boot. The next goal weight after that is to be able to clip my toenails and breathe at the same time. One's as likely as the other, and neither is very. So anyways, more contortions and back to work. And looking in here, you can see that I've done the paint over the seam sealer. It was seam sealer, then primer, then 2 coats of white. And this time the white sprayed out actually really nice this time. So we are not, I had a good can. We're just going to see if we can continue with the good can thing. And maybe those couple of black cans I had were just an anomaly. That's what I'm hoping. Anyway, moving forward, we'll see how things develop. And these have been painted white, so I'm just running a bolt into each nut there, just to make sure the threads are cleaned out. It's only paint, so I don't need to chase it with a proper thread chaser. I just need to just cleaning the paint out of the threads, make sure it works. I'm going to test fit these, make sure that they all fit up, and then I'm going to start on those again that I had started some time ago and now I'm going to get back onto them. That, and then the bracing is the last step before putting this thing up onto the rotisserie. Oh, I'm also going to put these on. So this is I'm going to use this as a ground. All my grounds from the taillights on one side are going to go to this. Single line from this is going to go on to and attach there. Or actually, probably attach to the license plate bracket. Anyway, so the grounds are going to go there, so I'm going to attach this. So that's what we're doing now. I've got number 6 bolts, nuts, and washers, and the appropriate bit. So I'm going to mark this. Okay, so clearly I'm going to have to come up with a better way to mark that. How about this? Use the old screw. Not rocket science, but I marked them out pretty clearly where they are, so. And the holes even line up. So we're just going to take, what do I got here? Screws, lock washers, regular washers, and somewhere in here I had the nuts. There are the nuts. Take a screw, grab a washer. Easier than a college girl on spring break, right? So this is pretty straightforward. We've got the fuse block, right? So all the wires off the tail light, brake light, license plate light, they're all gonna kind of meet at this, and then I'm gonna run a single thicker ground from here to the ground. So you saw me drill the 4 holes, mark them. I took, 4 number 6 screws. These are Robertsons, I'm Canadian, with a washer. Stick them on. Next one, washer, stick it in. Come on, in you go. There you go. And so on and so forth. Then on this side here, we're gonna need lock, washer, and nuts. And they're in place. The paint's still a little soft. Obviously I got some dirt on it. Not too worried about the dirt. It's gonna get dirty in the spot where it is. I put these on opposite sides, by the way. They have the same part number, so the same right to left, but I haven't decided yet whether I want the taillights on the outside, obviously, to mesh up that way, or if I want them on the inside and cross over. We'll figure it out, but I have one for each side. So next up, I'm gonna hit these things. Before I can put this thing up on the rotisserie, I have some issues like severe cracking there. And of course the front end of this thing was previously hit and was, let's call it repaired, but I wouldn't say that's anything resembling a repair. But I have some measurements to back this up from a healthy Bugeye, and then these ones as well. I took my tape measure and I measured 8.5 inches from the cross member to the end. So what I did is I took straight edge and went 3/4 of an inch in from the cross member, which leaves me with 7 3/4 inches. So then what I did is on the ones that came off that front end that I have in a way previous video that I bought all those ages ago, which I have cut apart, and I measured back 7 5/8. The reason 7 5/8 because that way you leave a little tiny gap there for the weld, because this is a frame and structural member. This is not going to get just simple butt weld. This is actually going to have a backer plate, so I've got a little bit of a gap there. So yeah, measured back all the way around, measured back all the way around. You see the lines. I'm going to cut to leave the line on both sides, which will actually have the service of making the gap even thinner. Then when I put one on, I'll double check the measure against the other. And of course, once I cut this, of course, I'm going to put it in my cabinet and sandblast it. Cut it off. I'll do one side and then the other. Anyway, that is plan. Continuing on, got one side off and sandblasted it in the cabinet. Measured it, as you saw, made the cuts. So they will be, when placed in back on, they will be the same length. But as you can see, there are some differences. So what I'm now about to do, take the old one that came off, and well, clearly these are going to have to be drilled out. There's captive nuts in there, so those are going to have to be drilled out. Then I'm going to plug at least this hole with weld. I'm going to measure where, now these obviously have been beat up. My other side has, looks like more original holes. So I'm going to measure those holes, and they will go on, or they'll go in. So yeah, I'm going to start manufacturing the bits that are different. The other thing I have is Ian Castley from Econobox Garage, who incidentally, he sent me this. So that is this piece here, obviously. I'll measure out the hole, and I'll make basically I'm going to manufacture the front of this thing so it matches. And Ian and I have been in touch a few times. I sent him a distributor body because I had a few. We talked about different ways, different tips on body work, and I'm more of a body man. He's more of a, as you can see, he's more of a mechanics guy. So I talked to him on the phone, and we shared some ideas with body work, and he's gonna give me some tips, I think, nicely on the mechanics end. So anyway, that's the plan here. I'm gonna hit this thing, gonna get these on. There it goes. One captive nut removed. So I've got these. Now I got to measure the hole that's actually in the top. If I put this on here, you can see it. It goes back from the very front. Or the alternative to trying to measure everything, I ran the tape right to the edge, marked where the edges are, drew a template in my template, hit it with the drill press, got a couple holes started, then put the hole in.